Okay, my name's Karl Hoops. I'm from Utah State University, and I appreciate the opportunity that I have to talk about the contraceptive efficacy of a self-assembling intrauterine device and its potential for control and fertility of our free-roaming equids. I'd like to thank Dr. Carlos Gradill, Dr. Dirk Vanderwall, Dr. Holly Clement, Brandon Cernecki, and Dr. Chris Davies for their help with the research that we've conducted at Utah State University. In full disclosure, Dr. Carlos Gradill is the inventor of this intrauterine device, and the University of Massachusetts has a patent pending on this device. So this is it. It's termed the IU pod. It's made up of 3 individual polymer-coated magnets that, when they're inserted into the mare, they form this ring-like configuration. It is the state of the lowest energy for the magnets. The ability of this ring configuration it's important that it stays there because that's what keeps it in the mare. Retention is one of the big things when we talk about IUDs. Each of the individual magnets weigh about 7.5 grams, so the whole thing together is 22.5 grams. Whoops, go too fast. You can see here, this on the left is the individual magnet. On the right is the combined magnets. In the middle is a 35 millimeter marble, glass marble. Historically, the glass marbles have been used as a contraceptive in horses, as well as an estrus behavior suppression in those mares. This is how they are, and I'm going to show videos in a moment about how they are inserted into the mare. This is the 3 individual magnets that are in tandem on the bottom. In the middle is a plunger device that will help push them through the tube into the cervix, through the cervix into the uterus of the mare. The top is the retrieval device, which is an oblong magnet attached to a fluorocarbon string. And I'll show you a video on how it's used to retrieve the device. All right. So the mare is initially, yes, this cannot be administered remotely. We have to capture the mare. But the mare is initially scrubbed with water to remove fecal debris. The tail is wrapped. And then we do a 5-minute scrub with povidone and then a rinse off after that. Then a sterile sleeve is donned and it's administered. You can either administer it with the application tube that you can see here, or you can actually carry all 3 of those magnets in your hand and individually insert them just digitally through the cervix. You can insert them through the cervix at any stage of the estrus cycle. They do not have to be in heat where there's relaxation of the cervix, so at any stage. And let's see if this works here, if the video works. Oh, that's the wrong video. There we go, come back down here. So the applicator tube is taken up, and here you can see that the plastic bag there represents the uterus of the mare, with the small end being the cervix. The applicator is passed through the cervix. The plunger is then pushed forward as the magnets are pushed through the cervix into the uterus, and they immediately go into the ring configuration. And again, that ring configuration is what holds them inside and the retention of the device. Okay, so retrieval of the device so that it can be reversible. This very much similar to, or the mare is prepared in the same way. There again, the retrieval magnet is loaded into the applicator. The applicator is then passed through the cervix. The plunger is pushed forward, and the retrieval magnet is pushed into the uterus. And this is a pretty small uterus. Sometimes they're a little bit larger too, or dropped over the rim of the pelvis, but the The magnet comes in contact with the IUD. You can feel it. It's pretty easy. You then retract, holding onto the string, you then retract the applicator tube. And you do have to do this rather slowly so that the magnets will stay attached. And as it brings it out, they stay together and you can bring them out. So pretty simple. So as we talk about the research that we performed, 6 mares were the self-assembling IUDs were inserted into the 6 mares. They were housed with 1 fertile stallion, and they were in a paddock area, so a 1-acre paddock area. And these were domesticated horses. That's one thing we need to, that's where further research needs to be developed, and we're working on that. But this was a live breeding situation. Other studies have been done with AI and other types of situations. This was one of the only ones with a live breeding situation. We wanted to measure the contraceptive efficacy of the device, measure the device retention, the effect that the device would have in suppressing estrus cycles. Intra-uterine devices have been used to suppress estrus in horses, domesticated horses. So that was one thing we wanted to see. But we wanted to measure the fertility of the mare following the removal of the device, so the reversibility of the contraceptive. So the device was inserted transcervically in the mares regardless of the stage of the estrus cycle. Mares were examined by transrectal ultrasonography immediately before and within 5 minutes of insertion to make sure that it was there. And the mares were then exposed to the stallion of known fertility beginning on the day of insertion. And they were housed together with the stallion for 91 days. The mares were examined by transrectal ultrasonography approximately every 2 weeks. During that ultrasound, number and size of follicle, the corpus luteum, and the presence of intrauterine fluid were assessed with ultrasonography as well. At the same time, we used a handheld magnetic detector wand, and you can run it along the abdomen of that mare, and it will pick up the magnets inside the mare. Pretty amazing. We observed the mare and the stallion for mating behavior. We did see them mating. And then the other part of it was the progesterone was assayed every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Drew samples to assess the cyclicity of the mare. So results. All the mares retained the device for the duration of the study. None of the mares fitted with the device became pregnant. So 100% retention, 100% contraceptive efficacy. 4 of the 6 mares then became pregnant after the removal of the device. 2 mares fitted with the IUD had prolonged corpus luteum function. And one of the things that we did find, there was free fluid present in 77% of the reproductive exams, most likely due to PMIE, the post-mating induced endometritis. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Well, so our serum progesterone concentrations, we can see in 2 of the mares we had prolonged estrus, or prolonged CL function. And so the other mares, we did see a shortened diestrus of 7.8 days. There again, we feel this was most likely due to the PMIE. So the fluid that we found, we do feel that there is a post-mating induced endometritis, that there is some reaction. And the reason we feel that happens here is because of the live cover. And other studies that were performed, there was not the free fluid in the ultrasounds. And so we do feel that this is because there is an active breeding stallion in this situation. So conclusions that we came away with, there's 100% retention, 100% contraceptive, easy to insert and easy to retrieve. That's one thing that's pretty important. It doesn't have to, anyone with the ability, the experience of AIing a mare, artificial insemination with a mare, can insert these IUDs. It's not rocket science, as I demonstrated. So easy to detect with an external wand detector and visualized by ultrasound. There was a small amount of, only in 2 mares did we see that prolonged CL function. And it does not seem to affect fertility after you remove the device. So it is a promising long-term reversible contraception. There are a lot of future studies that need to be done. This is a new product. This is something that we're excited about, but there are a lot of things that need to happen. There's some ideas about using copper within the IUD. It's common in human IUDs. It's something that we're hoping for to incorporate in future studies. I want to thank the Utah State University Sam Skaggs Family Equine Education Center, as well as the Utah Agriculture Experiment Station for funding this project. So thank you. Any questions?